what I could do any day too? Hug someone. It's National Hug or National Hugging Day. It's an annual unofficial day that was instilled by Reverend Kevin Saboni in 1986. He reckoned between the festive season, so December and January, and the 21st, or rather Valentine's Day. Today, he's making the day that everyone should hug each other because everyone is just feeling a little bit down. With us, our clinical psychologist, Marlene. It's good to have you here, better known as Dr. Eve. Do you want to hug?
I want to hug you, but you need to stand.
Do I have to stand?
Three different kinds of hugging.
Are you teaching us how to hug?
Right, so this is how most people hug. No, they do the A-frame. It's like, hello, Ilana. Exactly. And then we do a little closer. Like, hello, how are you? Which feels kind of nice, but not satisfying enough.
Right.
Now we do the full body hug.
Oh, lekker. Oh, I even went on tippy toe. That felt good. Oh, National Hugging Day.
And doesn't that feel wonderful?
Feels good, but I hug you all the time.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and therefore there's a bond.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. How do you decide who to hug and who not to hug?
That's an important question. I think instinctively, if you feel uncomfortable when somebody comes into your space, we've got to move away. And especially when it comes to children and to women,
right.
When you feel there's an invasion, when you feel, actually, I don't want to be hugged, we have to respect that. It's part of looking after your boundaries.
So why do humans hug? Why do we do it in the first place?
It's an instinctive feeling of wanting to have an affiliation with somebody else, and the result of it is that I actually feel good. It sparks off something chemically and hormonally in my body. I
was going to ask you, is there physical benefits, like emotional benefits? Do we feel like, oh, I feel better now after a hug?
Yeah, it's that physical contact. And so there's a releasing of wonderfully important hormones like endorphins, that as the skin is touched and as the body is actually enveloped and held. And then there's a wonderful hormone called oxytocin, that the longer that you hug or spoon or spend time very close up against each other, it's released. But it's also quite a deceptive little hormone, that because you can be spending night after night in bed with somebody, and because you're releasing oxytocin through this coming together, you think, oh, I really love this person. But you don't really love the person. What you're loving is how it makes you feel to be that close to somebody. So please beware that this is maybe an oxytocin effect, and not really I'm in love, and therefore I must marry or be in a permanent relationship with this person.
When is hugging appropriate and when is it inappropriate?
It's inappropriate when you feel this is inappropriate for me. Also about timing. I think there's also protocol and etiquette around it, and that's why we do certain kinds of hugging.
Right.
Like this is appropriate to do this far away. And then it's like, well, can I enter your space? And that's, I think, is a very important thing, to ask somebody. Like say, Ilana, I really want to hug you.
What if they say no?
Then you just have to respect it. And you have to say, actually, this is okay. Deal with the rejection yourself. But yeah, then I can, hold your hand.
How do you say to someone, I don't want to hug you? Like, stop.
Thank you for asking me to hug, but actually, this is not something I feel comfortable with. What I would prefer is if you just put your arm around me, or if you just hold my hand, or leave me by my arm. But hugging feels a little too intense and too invasive for me. And I have to tell you something like really important. She's like cracking up here.
I'm cracking up because there's so many people that I don't want to hug. We have to almost go to an ad break. Sorry, what were you going to say?
That it's very, very important that hugging is a very intimate activity. You're kind of in each other's faces. And people who are being sexual with each other, they find, look at her, she gets like really serious now. Yes. They find that they can be sexual, but they can't hug because it's too intimate. And that can be a real warning sign for you in your relationship, that actually I'm not really attracted, or I really don't feel comfortable with this person. I can give my genitals, I can be sexual, but I can't be that intimate that I'm giving my actual physical space.
So sometimes more intimate than even intercourse itself. Wow.
Exactly.
It's International Hugging or Hug Day, and hug someone. But why not ask them first? Because they might not want to. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Thank you so much, Marlene. We'll be back after the break.